All right, we've got a potpourri of items to talk about that are going on in the professional wrestling world this week, and including them, more names have been announced for the WWE Hall of Fame, the virtual ceremony this year, including last year's people. We've talked about this recently, but now there's more. Is this correct? There's more.
Yeah, they're adding a lot fast and furiously right before the Hall of Fame. And, you know, we've talked in the past about what the WWE Hall of Fame is and what it signifies and how it may be one thing to experts and one thing to the audience, but it means something to the people being inducted. And we are, 2 weeks in front of WrestleMania, and now they're just announcing everyone as fast as they can. It's like a dump of names in the last week and a half.
Well, and I mean, we're not watching the programming closely, but are they doing for each of these individuals what they normally do when they draw the announcements out a bit more, when they concentrate on one per show or one per week or whatever? Are they doing profile videos? Are they giving any context there? Or are they just, hey, and here he's going to come too?
Well, when you say we're not watching the programs closely, what you mean is we're not watching the programs. So I have no idea.
I didn't want to be rude. I didn't know if you'd heard, if you've usually got your ear to the ground.
I think what they're doing is what they've done the last several years, which is kind of they take a name and they give it to one specific entity and let you break this name. And then we'll give this name to Sports Illustrated. We'll give this name to Rolling Stone.
You break this name. They've broken quite a few names. Well, the one that caught my eye that's being inducted into the prestigious Hall of Fame this year, of course, and how could you deny this man's incredible technical skills, his verbal ability, his long history of drawing main event, big box office houses, incredible string of pay-per-view appearances, show stealer in every aspect of the game, the great Khali, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Am I correct in assuming that now, in addition to the quotas that we already know that they've had over the past several years, where there has to be a person of color, a tag team, a deceased person, a female, their various cubby holes, that now they're appealing strictly to the YouTube audience in India? I mean, you've heard this, right? That apparently the massive part of their YouTube views comes from India for whatever reason. Do they not have television, or they don't have broadcast television? I don't know what they got going on in India, but they watch a lot of YouTube. What do you know about this?
They do watch a lot of WWE. We believe that's one of the reasons why everyone from Impact Wrestling to WWE has made a concerted push into India, but it's also a great place for bots that you could potentially purchase to watch your videos. Not that we've ever done that or ever would, but I've heard that in the past about other wrestling entities.
They got great bot stores over there.
That's right.
Well, what do you think about the great Khali's qualifications, Brian, for going into the Hall of Fame? I mean, an incredible, awe-inspiring orator, the likes of which we haven't seen since Big Bad John. The incredible smoothness and agility that he displayed in his many classic wrestling appearances. I mean, I could go on, and I already have. They couldn't find any other Indian guy. Well, every time I had seen him, and I admit that it wasn't regularly, he could barely fucking walk. He's slow, dull-witted, plodding. He made goddamn Giant Silva look like fucking Andre.
He is a former world heavyweight champion.
So is fucking David Arquette and Shitstain.
And I think at the rate we're going, they may be in the Hall of Fame in the next several years. But I think, the other interesting thing about Khali, and I was thinking about it the other day, is although I don't think he was found to be responsible, I have to look this up while we're talking, but he's another wrestler in the Hall of Fame now that killed a guy.
Oh, that's right. When they were training him out in California, he tried to powerbomb somebody, and that didn't end well.
All Pro Wrestling. It was Roland Alexander. Yeah. And there was a lawsuit. Again, that's why I said, I don't know if they sued him, but they sued APW, I believe at the time, and they were found to be responsible, that they were reckless. But I don't remember if he was actually sued, but it was him in the ring with...
And also, here's the thing. He was a student in the school. They found the school bore responsibility, and having operated training programs, I know something about this. The school bore the responsibility, because how can you find one student responsible for injuring another student when they're doing what a school and instructors are telling them to do? That type of thing, I believe, is what. But the point is, yes, he's just so fucking giant and massive. He didn't mean to fucking hurt the guy. He's just a big fucking klutz. But the point is, what case are they making that this guy was any kind of legitimate Hall of Fame star, except the fact that we want a bunch of people in India to watch it on YouTube? What other case can you make? What great match can you point to? What great promo can you point to? What great box office accomplishment can you point to? What can you point to?
He was a star on their television show, and they got a kick out of him, and they're inducting him. I will say this, it is a little weird inducting people this year. I'm assuming there's going to be no one there. I mean, part of the kick, I mean, you were at an induction ceremony, although you weren't inducted, you gave a speech.
Yeah.
Part of the kick is that there are people there reacting. There are people there clapping and chanting and cheering. And it's kind of a, even though some of these people appear on TV again, it's kind of a end of the road. It's kind of a closing of the book. You're inducted into the Hall of Fame in front of the crowd, in front of your peers, and you get the reaction. It's a little different if it's just this kind of virtual Hall of Fame. I don't know how they're going to do this.
Well, and that's the thing. And some people say, well, don't they get enough glory or whatever? It's not even it's making the speeches and the presentations and the overall entertainment value of the show more palatable when there are people there, especially fans and feedback. When you're just speaking into an empty room, you might as well be given a fucking financial, symposium or something. It's going to be dry to some extent, even possibly drier than empty arena wrestling matches, because there's no, like you said, there's no feedback, no emotion there. But
I am looking forward to Khali's speech.
No,
I'm dying to see what this will be.
Who's going to induct him?
That's a good question. Who's going to induct him?
Who was the next worst wrestler in the world who could say, hey, here's the guy that took the heat off of me?
I was going to say you could have another giant do, but they just lost the Big Show.
Oh, well, no, Vince wouldn't want them standing next to each other because one of them would be taller, and that would screw the whole thing up.